All right, welcome to the first learning code session. I don't know how many times this is gonna happen, but we'll just see. This is going to be the introduction to MATLAB. So if you have MATLAB, if you have MATLAB and you want to tune in and follow along with what I'm doing, awesome. Go ahead and open it. Otherwise, go to this link that I'll put in the... I have to agree to my own rules to be in my own chat. That's fine. Go ahead and go to this link to download Octave, which is a free and less weird version of MATLAB. Yeah, so then get that all set up and all that. Yeah, so let's see. Yes, I want you to install this on my computer. You get to see... I don't want that. Actually, I'll move this over here real quick. Not that it matters to see where this is being saved, but you know, it's fine. So that might take a hot second to do its downloads. Okay, you're not gonna split screen that. That's fine. Excuse me. So if you have done code stuff before, then this might be somewhat familiar. If this is your first time doing code, then what you'll see here is going to be pretty like a lot of the basic syntax is pretty universal. Okay. I have to double check and make sure the music is chill enough that it's not overpowering me. So, okay, that's fine. So is it downloaded yet? Okay, well, while we're waiting for Octave to download, some of the basic things that you can do in really about any type of code is to do basic math. So 5 plus 3 is a thing you can do. It's gonna make me save this, so I want I'm just gonna put it here for now. Learning code. Oh, it's not gonna like that. Okay, fine. So one of the nitpicky things about MATLAB is that Pretzel Rocks is the music player. Don't mind that mod. So one of the things about MATLAB is that it specifies numbers, letters, and underscores. So if I do a dash, it gets mad at me and it doesn't like that. So if you do name your stuff, you want it to be something more either what's referred to as camel text. So where you've got the capitalization of every word and no space between them, or you can do underscores like that. So I'm just going to do that just so I remember what this file is. So I saved it. It's yelling at me because it doesn't like the multitasking. I think I actually froze MATLAB. Okay, let's run it now. Why are you being like this? Okay, well, I know in Octave it'll let you do that. So it's just being like that. It's fine. Everything's fine. So, oh, there it goes. Okay. It was just being a little butt. This is mildly distracting music to me. Oops. Too many beats happening at once. So you can do basic math in MATLAB and it'll output it for you. And MATLAB is just giving a little notification saying, hey, if you do not want this to output, put a semicolon after it. So if I run this, it won't output what the answer is. Make that just a little bit quieter for me. There we go. So I'm pretty sure it's like quiet for you all. Yeah, okay. It's quiet enough, which is fine. So, this type of structure, 5 plus 3 or any type of math you can think of, this is pretty universal across like computer languages. Like if you type something in, it'll output the answer. You can also do it here and it'll output that answer as well. So your command window is just outputting it's showing you what you're telling it to do. Yeah, that's how things work. One of the other key parts of really any coding thing is you can assign variables. So if I run all 3 of these, it should do 8, 4, and then a equals 4, or a equals 8. Yeah. I'm gonna move this here, just so it's a little easier to see. Yeah, so this just said to run the command. This is the first line, this is the second line, this is the third line. And then if I comment these out and run it again, I should just see a equals 8. And that's what it did. So these little red values, well, this warning is just saying like this isn't assigned to anything and you're making the computer do a bunch of math and you're not doing anything with it. So but it's not like anything that'll break your code. And this is just the suggestion to put a semicolon after your after the line to wow, words. To suppress the line. That's how words work. Yeah, so when you suppress the line, all it's saying is still do the math, but don't output it. So if I run this, it just acknowledges that I output it. And if I don't remember if this does a whole lot. Let's find out. So it's thinking. There we go. So this cute little command, tick and talk, not the social media platform, is just saying, it's just asking how much time has elapsed from tick to talk, and it'll output that for you here. So now if I uncomment all of these and then run everything again, so this was, I guess it's about the same amount of time. This will be helpful for like more complicated things. later on, so you can like start seeing the difference between like how much time it takes to run and output everything and how much time it takes to just do this normally. I think the first time it took so long here was because it was the first time like using this in this document. But yeah, as you can see, it's a very small amount of time saved, but that comes into play for like much larger things, like if you're doing these complex if statements and stuff. Yeah, so the math stuff is pretty universal. I think tick and talk are specific to MATLAB. I'm not sure. Maybe the moderator knows that answer. Another cute thing you can do is comment things out. Oh, I didn't change that. So of course it's like an unreadable text color. That's fine. So by adding a like a percent symbol, I turn things into comments. So if I comment out tick and talk and unsuppress line 5, a equals 5 plus 3, the only thing I should see is a equals 8. Asking if there's like if tick and talk are specific to MATLAB or if that's something that can be used in other languages like R or Python or C and stuff like that. The question for the recording is what things are what things equivalent? It's just a clarification question. So while you're working on that answer, it's fine. Every time I see the media thing send a comment in the chat, I'm like, ooh, someone's talking to me, and then I'm like, nope, that's just the media bot. It's fine. So most languages have their own version of tick and talk, but tick and talk are very much MATLAB-isms. So these will be very specific to MATLAB. Okay, let's hold off on that for now. Octave finished installing, so we'll test these out in Octave in a hot second. So the next thing that you can do is make arrays and matrices. And these are kind of similar, but they're also very different. Like, they're similar in that they are storing multiple values, but they are different in like the structure that those values are like stored in. So for those of you watching who have been learning R, an array is like, we've been calling an array a vector. So the basic structure is something like this, where it's a variable name, it's just yelling because of the semicolon, and then a set of square brackets. And then you can put anything you want inside of those square brackets. And so if I run this, I'm going to suppress this so it stops printing 8 in the command window. So so now this one variable called t is storing values 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if I want to know what is in position 3, I can just type t square bracket 3. Oh, can I not do that? Well, let's find out. Will it get mad at me? Yay, first error of the day. So it only took 18 minutes. So this is saying that it doesn't like this format. Yeah, I know how to do things, it's fine. I think it might actually be parenthesis. I think that might actually be the syntax. Yeah, okay. So if you want to know what what thing is being stored in a certain position, you can just do the name of the variable and then in parentheses a number that corresponds to to a position in your array, or for the people familiar with R, a vector. If you do something outside of the array, you get an error that says index exceeds the number of array elements. So yeah, so this is just saying, whoa, you tried to look at a number that doesn't exist in this array that you made. And to solve this issue, you can do length t, and that will tell you how many places are being, or how many spaces are being stored in the. It got mad again. Oh, I'm just gonna comment this out because it doesn't like that. So what length of t is doing is it's telling you how many spaces are being occupied by the in the array. So then if I were to add some more values and run it again, I'm actually going to assign a variable to this. Array name equals length of t. So this will, instead of just saying answers equals, it'll tell me what specifically equals the number. Yep, so now because I added a couple more numbers, the length changed, and now instead of 5, it is 9. I need some water. Yeah. So that's that. I'm going to add in a comment here that says basic math. So, yeah, so this section is all basic math stuff. This stuff is all arrays and matrices. Another thing you can do with the assigning a variable name is you can add variables together. So if I say b equals 7, I'll keep these uncommented just to show what it's doing, and then I can say c equals a plus b. So now if I run this, it should give me 15, because 5 plus 3 is 8, b equals 7, and then c equals 15. Yeah, okay. Let's see if this will open Octave, or if it'll get mad. Oh, I have to give it permission to be on my computer. That's fine. Yes. What? Oh, I don't want to install it again. That's fine. I know how things work. I know how to computer. Okay. So when you first open up Octave, you should get something kind of like this. It's awful and bright. Oh, it saved all of my changes. Okay, let me fix this real quick. I was playing around with the things to try and make it less awful to stare at. But that's just not how it's gonna work. So if you do not have MATLAB, then Octave works just as fine. Well, according to some instructors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to basically copy all of this over into Octave line by line and see what it does. So I'm gonna make this a bit bigger. So the editor is where you'll be like writing all of your code stuff, and then your command window is where everything will be outputted. So if I do 5 plus 3, you're not gonna like this if I just run it as is. You want me to save it. Desktop. Okay. Add. Okay. Add change directory? There. Okay. I think that works. Yay, it worked. So the oh god, there's things. I was don't mind me, I'm just multitasking off camera, it's fine. So it we can see that this works just as well in Octave as in MATLAB. So it outputs answer equals 8. If I do a equals 5 plus 3 and run it, I get answer equals 8 and a equals 8. So if I do that math again, 7 and c equals a plus b. And this is entirely an aesthetic thing. You don't have to put spaces between your like equals and between your values. Like you can do something like in line 3 here, and it'll still run. Why is this like? Welcome back. It's like so far over. Whatever, it's fine. So yeah, and I think the semicolon works here too. Yes. So a lot of the stuff you can use in MATLAB also works in Octave. So the semicolon is a thing that works, and the basic math is pretty universal. Let's see if well, it pulls up as a thing, so let's see if Octave likes it. Okay, so Octave does use tick and talk as commands as well, but because Octave is a very like a free version of MATLAB, that makes sense. So if I do the matrix and then do that, I'll get the well, because I did not suppress this array, it printed it out for me, and then I just asked it what is in the third position of the array. So I guess a a good thing to mention is that arrays start counting at 1. So what I mean by this comment is this becomes 1, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5. And that the way it starts, the way your like the code will start counting varies depending on which one you're using. I think for the most part they start counting at 1, but there are some that will start counting at 0. And then for a matrix, I think a kind of funny way to describe a matrix is it's an array in 2 dimensions. So, and my moderator can yell at me for that, but so let's do a matrix. 1, 2, 3. Separate by a semicolon. So what this does when I think the command is CLC. Yep. So the little trick I just did in the command window was just CLC. That basically just says clear command, or like clear command window. And it's a... It is accurate to... Okay. So, yeah. This is one of the several commands that just help make all of your like workspace and command window stuff nice and clean. If you've been learning R, the workspace is analogous to the global environment. Oh no. I'm cutting out a lot. Heck. Okay. How about that? Does that improve things any? I just turned down the music a little bit. We will find out. So, so some of the, well, so I was informed that the stream is cutting out a bit. The recording should be a little better, and I can share a link to that in my Discord server, which I'm gonna copy that real quick because I think I forgot to copy it before. Aha. Okay, so alright, I think we're good. Fear not, there will be a recording of this, so everything will be fine. Some of the other commands you can do are clear all and close all. So clear all will clear the workspace, and that's supposed to be a semicolon because the computer will get mad at me. Yeah, it's definitely a network thing. You already know my... Oh wow, 3 minutes of delay? That is awful. Okay. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. So the so CLC will clear the command window. Clear all clears the workspace, also sometimes referred to as global environment, probably not in MATLAB though. And then close all closes extra windows. That's not how you spell close. So close all really comes into play when you're making plots and things that pop up windows. So until we get to plots, you don't have to worry so much about this one. But clear all and CLC will clear the workspace and the command window. So if I well, it happens too fast for it to do anything. First of all, here's the array, or the matrix. I'm going to add some spaces to this to make it a little better. This is really entertaining. Wow, that's awful that there's such a delay with the streaming. That's just how it's gonna be. Why bother put in like the delay chat thing when the network just does it for me? So I added spaces to the matrix and it spaced out everything in this matrix. So each semicolon within the square brackets means put whatever's after the semicolon on a new row. So 1, 2, 3 is row 1, 4, 5, 6 row 2, 7, 8, 9, row 3. So now if I do clear all at the end of this, it should keep the command window, but then get rid of stuff that is in the workspace. Yep, just like that. So that's all that clear all does. It's useful if you're like working on a bunch of stuff, or like if you close out of MATLAB or Octave and then like come back into it later and all of your stuff is still here. This just makes sure that there's nothing like slowing down your computer. Yeah. Okay, let's see. And then like with arrays, you can reference a specific position in the matrix. So I want to well, let's see what happens if I do length p. So I'm going to assign a variable to that so it makes a little bit more sense. So the length command is a little funky with matrices because this just says it's not like, so when I type in length of p, like of the matrix, it says 3. So that's just my how do I explain that? My understanding of it is that it's just saying how many like horizontal spaces are being occupied, not how many vertical spaces are being occupied. I think there is a specific command to figure out like the dimensions of your matrix. I would have to go find that somewhere. Anyway, to get a specific value like from your matrix, the syntax is the same as for an array, so it's the matrix name and then a set of parentheses, and then inside of the parentheses, since this is now a two-dimensional space, you have to basically specify x and y coordinates. So if you are looking for a specific thing, 1, 2, yep. Okay, so the first position is which column. So let's do column 2. And then let's do row 3. So this does column, then row. Yeah. Oh, did I mix that up? I think I did. Okay. The thing that I'm following has it wrong then. So it's row, then column. So so this is saying which row to go into, and then how many. So like how do I describe that? It starts from the counting starts from top left and goes to bottom right. So if I were to do 3, 3, it would be 9. If I do 1, 3, I should get 3. So that's just a way to figure out like what is in a specific area of your matrix. So then there are so many extra things happening right now. I'm getting very distracted. It's fine. If I want to access a like an entire row or an entire column, then I can do the name of the matrix, which is P, and then I can do, let's say I want to access the middle row. I do 2, colon. So then when I run that, it should output 4, 5, and 6, which is exactly what it does. And then for if I'm going to add a comment that says accessing a row, and then P, let's say row 3, so line 29 here should output 4, 5, and 6, and then line 30 should output 3, 6, and 9. And the difference is like this. I want to call it a semicolon every time. The colon is just saying like everything, like all of row or column, and then in this position. So for line 30, for example, it's saying all rows in column 3. So I'll add that in there. Yeah. Okay, so now I think the last thing I'll do, I guess another way to make an array, I'm going to add that back up here. No, there we go. You can do colon 1 colon 10. So, excuse me. So what this line 21 does is it's going to create an array starting at 0, ending at 10, with an interval of 1. So can I run just this line? I don't know what the shorthand is for that yet. So, oh geez. Okay, that did not work because I have a bunch of things. Oops. I have a bunch of stuff happening. That was not going to work. So I guess an additional thing to add before I go back to this alternative method of making an array, when you're doing semicolons for things to suppress them, you'll want to do it right after like whatever you're suppressing, because if you put it in a comment, it's commenting, it's just commenting on, wow, how do I phrase that? Everything after the dollar or like the percentage symbol is a comment. It's not like something that actually gets calculated by the computer. So if you put a semicolon in here, it's not going to do anything. So you just have to make sure that you put your semicolon next to like your active arguments, I guess I'll call them. So if I run this, looking at this new array, this output from 0 to 10 increasing by 1. So if I'm going to decrease, well, 0.55. So you can do stuff like this. This is a mildly sketchy way of doing a variable name, because if I type in array, you can see that there's stuff already under that name. So when you're making comments, you just want to make sure that it doesn't conflict with anything else. So like I guess another one that we'll get to another time, there's a command called plot that pretty straightforward, allows you to just plot something. You can't just say plot equals whatever you want, because plot is a command and your computer will get mad at you, and it might not output the result that you want it to. So just be cautious of that. I'm going to run this again. So new array outputs 0 through 10 increments of 1, and then fancy array outputs 0 to 5 increasing by 0.5. And like, so this is totally a thing that you can see in code. When you're making plots, this is at least in the educational course where MATLAB is going to be taught, for those of you who are watching for this reason, you'll see a setup like this a lot of the time for plot making. And a lot of the time this will be like a time value. So you could have like time variable equals 0.0001 10. I'm not gonna print that because that's gonna be a very large output. So you'll see stuff like this used for plotting. And I guess the last thing I'll do for today, you can, I think this will work. At least in MATLAB, I'm not sure if Octave likes it. Okay, oh, that's not the correct, I think that's the correct phrasing. No, okay, I guess it just doesn't like it. At least in MATLAB, there is a way to change like how many decimal places are printed out. So I'm gonna copy this. This is gonna be an awful transition. I apologize. If I do, there we go. So you can see in MATLAB, the format is a function, and then compact tells it what type of format to be. So if I do format compact, it'll, well, why is it being like that? Alright, whatever. The format, I think that's a better example. So the format just tells you like how many decimal places to go, or like to print out. So if you do format long, it'll print out like 10 decimal places or something like that. I think short is another. So for format short, it'll condense it down to like 4 decimal places. I think compact does the same thing. Yeah, that's still 4 decimal places. And then if I comment that out, oh, okay. Well, if you start dealing with numbers that that get like really long past the decimal place, like pi, for example, you can use this format compact to shorten it down to something else. All right, I'm going to switch over to Octave. I apologize for the change in brightness. Yeah, so that is, I think that's really a bunch of the stuff that can be done today. Yeah, so I think that's where I will end it for now. I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to go to a nice dark screen for the outro, because why not? Things, stuff, words. I need that invite link again. Yay. Cool. So that's where I'm going to stop it for now. If you found that was interesting, do leave a follow. Head over to the Discord to just keep up to date with that stuff, or like with the learning code stuff. This will be an alternating thing. So this week it was MATLAB, and next week is going to be working on some R code, and then it'll just alternate back and forth between that. So yeah, if that interests you, do stop on by. All the things. Okay, I'm gonna